There's something I've been thinking about. IQ. Do blacks really have a low IQ? What do I believe? I believe blacks have a low IQ. It depends on the standard. Who sets the standard? In this system we live in, this system created by the European mind for Europeans. Yes, I agree blacks have a low IQ because black people, me included, we are living in a society in an artificially created reality that a European created. And we're trying to fit into that reality. We're trying to run our countries the way they want, the way they dictate it. We're trying to dress like them. We're trying to walk like them, speak like them, behave like them. We're trying to understand their educational system. Why wouldn't we have a low IQ based on their system? Why wouldn't we? So, yes, I do agree. Blacks do have a low IQ. We do have a low IQ. But we have that low IQ because we are not living in our own environment. We're not thinking in our own environment. We're thinking in the environment that whites created for us. It could be the same with Asians too. You say, yeah, Asians have the highest IQ. But Asians, they have the same principles, the same way of thinking as white people. They're closely related than they are to black people, to Africans. So it's going to be natural for them to have a higher IQ, to have the same IQ as white people. So the only way for that to change is for us, black people. We need to create our own reality. We need to start creating our own educational system, our African based educational system. Same thing the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Nubians, the black civilizations of the past. They had their own system and they excelled in that system. That system enabled them to create the pyramids, writing. So, what we have to do is come together and create our own. We need to stop depending on the white system, on the white man's way of doing things. We can't call them racist because they see us as intruders, that we're trying to come into their system. What we need to do is build our own system. We need to start depending on them. When we build our own system, then we can start judging our IQ based on ourselves, not based on the white man's understanding of how the mind works. That's just something I'm thinking about. I've been thinking about lately. I've been hearing a lot about IQ this, IQ that, whites have a higher IQ, Asians have a higher IQ. But people don't really think, why is this? But when they do think, why is this, they use the word European standards of why blacks don't have an IQ. I used to believe that too, that blacks naturally have a lower IQ based on our environment. But now I realize the reason why is because we're living in a reality, in an environment that we didn't create for ourselves. So we're trying to fit into this reality, fit into this environment, this way of doing things. Sometimes people don't realize that what we think or see as the physical is not really physical, it's more spiritual. the cars we have, the clothes we wear, the house we live in, the bed we sleep on. It's all a manifestation of the mind. You think it, then you recreate it. You create into something you can touch. If we don't think, we can't create anything in the physical. So everything comes from the mind. So when a black man starts thinking and creates things from his own mind based on his own understanding, then the black man will be more intelligent than other races because that's what other races are doing. They're thinking for themselves and they're creating for themselves. And we're trying to fit into their reality. We're trying to fit into their creation. We need to start creating ours, create for ourselves and fit into our creations. I believe that's the only way the black man can survive in this society, in this system, this artificial creation that a white man has created for himself. That's just something I was thinking about.